What if I told you, we've seen this movie before? The frenzy, the headlines, the promises of a revolution that would change everything. Every company suddenly powered by AI. Every investor throwing billions into ideas that don't even make money. Every YouTuber shouting, "This is the future, don't get left behind." But here's the truth, no one wants to admit. We might not be in the middle of an AI revolution. We might be in the middle of the biggest speculative bubble since the dot-com crash. And the scary part is time. It's $30 billion a month, and it's all happening faster than ever before. Since 2023, investors have been throwing record-breaking amounts of cash into anything labeled AI. Nvidia's market cap passed $3 trillion, overtaking even Apple at one point. OpenAI went from a nonprofit research lab to a corporate superpower valued at $150 billion. And across the board, from Google to Microsoft to Amazon, companies are spending tens of billions of dollars each quarter on AI infrastructure. For context, in just 1 month of 2024, investors poured more money into AI startups than they did into the entire biotech sector for the whole year. Everyone wants a piece of the machine that promises infinite productivity. Everyone wants to be part of the next industrial revolution. But step back for a second. Does this sound familiar? Because in 1999, it was the same story. Back then, it wasn't AI. It was the internet. In 1999, companies like Pets.com, Webvan, and eToys raised billions, not because they were profitable, but because they had a website. Analysts said, "The internet will change everything." And they were right, but that didn't mean every dot-com company was a winner. Investors ignored fundamentals. They believed technology alone guaranteed profits. Until 2000, when the bubble burst and $5 trillion in market value disappeared. Fast forward 25 years. Now it's AI's turn, except this time the scale is insane. Goldman Sachs estimates AI investments are growing 5x faster than the internet did in its early years. And if spending continues at this pace, AI-related capital expenditures could exceed $1.5 trillion by 2030. So, where's all this money going? The answer: GPUs. Data centers, cloud infrastructure. Nvidia's profit margins are astronomical. Some quarters exceeding 70%, driven by the demand for their high-end chips. Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are racing to build AI supercomputers, each spending billions to train and deploy large language models. But here's the catch. Most of that money isn't coming from profits. It's coming from debt, speculation, and stock buybacks. In other words, it's Wall Street money, not Main Street value. These corporations are betting that AI will generate enough productivity to justify the spending later, but later might be years away. Until then, it's hype, hope, and hardware. Every bubble follows the same script. It starts with innovation, then comes speculation, then the illusion of inevitability. Let's break it down. The Spark ChatGPT in late 2022, a product so impressive it felt magical. Overnight, everyone realized I wasn't science fiction anymore. The capital rush: within months, venture capital firms reallocated billions into AI startups. Even crypto funds pivoted overnight, rebranding from Web3 to AI-powered. The narrative trapped media. Influencers and even politicians began calling AI the next electricity. The story became too big to question. The misallocation phase: companies start pouring money into AI tools they don't need just to look innovative. AI-powered toothbrushes, AI dating coaches, AI coffee machines. And that's when the line between progress and mania blurs. Today, over 70% of AI startups have no clear path to profitability. But valuations are through the roof. Investors aren't buying results, they're buying dreams. In every bubble, there's one universal emotion: FOMO, the fear of missing out. The same mindset that drove crypto in 2021, real estate in 2008, and internet stocks in 1999. Investors aren't driven by data, they're driven by dopamine. Every time a company's stock spikes on an AI announcement, it triggers the same psychological loop. Everyone else is getting rich. I can't afford to stay out, and here's where it gets dangerous. Companies, knowing this, start weaponizing hype. They mention AI in earnings calls, even if it has nothing to do with their business. A 2024 Morgan Stanley report found that over 40% of public companies referenced AI in their financial reports, even when they had no tangible AI product. That's not innovation. That's marketing. So why does this bubble keep inflating? Because the system rewards it. Central banks, especially after the pandemic, flooded the economy with cheap money. Even as interest rates rose, massive cash reserves from 2020 to 2022 still circulate in corporate treasuries and venture funds. The result? Excess liquidity looking for the next big thing, and AI became that thing. Think about it. We went from cryptomania to metaverse to AI, all within 36 months. Each time, the same money just changed clothes. But unlike crypto or NFTs, AI has something those never did: real utility. And that's what makes this bubble trickier, because bubbles based on truth are the hardest to pop. Let's talk about winners and losers. The winners for now are obvious: NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, the chip makers, and the cloud kings. In 2024 alone, these companies captured over 80% of all AI-related profits. Meanwhile, startups, the supposed heart of innovation, are burning through cash. For every success like OpenAI, there are hundreds of companies raising millions with no product, no customers, and no plan. They're renting GPUs at a loss just to train models that will be obsolete in 6 months. And when funding dries up, those companies vanish, leaving only the infrastructure giants behind. So what does that mean? It means we're watching consolidation disguised as innovation. A handful of corporations are building the digital railroads of the future while the rest are paving them with debt. Every bubble has its warning signs. The dot-com era had the NASDAQ crash of 2000. The housing bubble had the mortgage defaults of 2007. And now the AI bubble is starting to show its cracks. In mid-2025, reports began surfacing of AI startups unable to pay cloud bills. Some venture funds quietly paused new AI investments. Even Microsoft's CFO warned of AI ROI taking longer than expected. Yet the spending hasn't slowed. It's accelerating. We're building an economy on the assumption that AI will deliver exponential returns soon. But what if it doesn't? What if AI becomes the next productivity illusion, a tool that improves efficiency but not profits? Because here's a fact most ignore. Despite billions invested, global productivity growth in 2024 barely moved. We've built smarter machines, but we haven't built smarter economies. AI is transformative, but transformation doesn't always mean profit. In the 1800s, the railroads reshaped the world, but most railroad companies went bankrupt. In the early 1900s, car companies exploded in number, hundreds of them. Only a few survived: Ford, GM, Chrysler. In the 2000s, search engines flooded the web, and only Google dominated. Every technological revolution follows this curve. Explosion gives speculation, gives consolidation, gives reality. AI is somewhere in the middle, the speculation phase. It's not the end of the story, but it's not the beginning either. The true winners of the AI age won't be those who shouted the loudest. They'll be the ones who quietly build lasting value when the noise fades. Bubbles aren't just financial, they're emotional. They feed on our hope, our desire to believe in something bigger than ourselves. Because deep down, every investor, every founder, every dreamer wants to believe that this time, it's different. That this time, the technology really will save us. That this time, it won't end in tears. But history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And the rhyme of 2025 sounds hauntingly familiar. We're once again chasing infinite growth in a finite world. Once again mistaking innovation for inevitability. Once again betting that this bubble won't burst because AI is too important. Maybe it is. But so was the internet. And it still crashed. Here's the paradox. AI will reshape the world, just not the way investors expect. Most of today's hype will vanish. But the underlying technology will remain embedded into every business, every tool, every decision. Just like the dot-com bubble destroyed thousands of startups but gave birth to Amazon, Google, and PayPal, the AI crash will do the same. The dust will clear. The strongest will remain. And only then will the real revolution begin. So ask yourself, are we building the future or inflating it? Is this progress or déjà vu? Because if history has taught us anything, It's that every boom feels like destiny until it becomes memory. This video was created under human supervision with the assistance of AI tools for research, scripting, and editing. It is based on publicly available information and sources. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. If this story opened your eyes, don't let the conversation end here. Think about it. The systems we've just uncovered are quietly shaping everything around us, from the money in our pockets to the power structures of tomorrow. And most people have no idea. So, if you got value from this, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, and more importantly, share this with someone who still believes the mainstream hype. Let's get them in on the secret too. And of course, subscribe and turn on notifications for more deep dives into what's really going on. Because understanding what's coming isn't just interesting, it's the only way to stay ahead of the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.